And hello everybody, welcome back to LFC News. It's deadline day and Liverpool are extremely busy. Of course, earlier on today we did confirm, not exclusively, but through Fabrizio Romano, that of course the Alexander Isak to Liverpool was a done deal and that he would be on his way to Liverpool Football Club. However, there is still some more incomings and outgoings currently ongoing. And as you can read there in the title, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some massive Liverpool transfer news for you today, as a huge midfielder deal has been agreed. I just want to have a little say on yesterday. What a result yesterday. Liverpool, of course, top of the table, 9 points from 9, 3 games out of 3, the only team in the league, and I still don't feel we've come out really out of first gear. Just shows what champions do, and two really big results against two really tough opposition. Newcastle away is always a tough one, but then Arsenal, people were talking about them being the main title contender. In fact, I would go and say they probably will, because Manchester City have been ranked rotten again this season. So massive result. But look, things get an awful lot better for Liverpool Football Club. Look, listen, Alexander Isak is... End of today, Harvey Elliott will likely be an Aston Villa player. Fabrizio Romano gave the here we go, and again, the agreement is a loan, but with an obligation to buy, and that would be a guaranteed package of around £35 million. So yeah, initial loan, but Aston Villa definitely need to buy him for 35 million quid. Liverpool wheeling and dealing. You see all these others, all the other teams. Oh, what about Liverpool's PSR and all these sorts of things? People forget about these little deals here. Little Darwin Núñez deal there. Luis Diaz out of the door. We sell a lot of players on a year-to-year basis. And here again, they've got another £35 million for Harvey Elliott. And this is what keeps us so sustainable. That's why we can shed out £130 million on Alexander Isak. So, I think a lot of football clubs are jealous because they have no returns on their income whatsoever. And I don't like to make football about income and whatnot. But it sometimes frustrates me when people don't really look at the bigger picture, and Liverpool are certainly one of the best ran football clubs in all of the Premier League. But Harvey Elliott, as stated, is on his way out of the football club. He is going to be joining Aston Villa, and that is a here we go from Fabrizio Romano, a loan with an obligation to buy £35 million. However, there is going to be a lot more deals to be done today. Obviously, we're going to be seeing the unveiling of Alexander Isak. That is a big one. That's a really big signing. That really feels something different. It really does. Something feels massive with that signing. I would be scared for all of the other teams in the league, It's about time this happened to Liverpool. It's great to see. And Mark Gahey, the deal was expected to happen as well. So 2 in, 1 out so far. We got a bit of confirmation as well with regard to Joe Gomez. People were talking about Joe Gomez potentially leaving the football club. And Joe Gomez, apparently's deal to AC Milan, apparently AC Milan wanted to try and sign him on deadline day. However, they have walked away from the deal. So AC Milan aren't going to be signing Joe Gomez anymore. So if anything happens in terms of Joe Gomez a little bit later on, well, we'll have to see what happens. However, we'll have to see what happens. However, right now, AC Milan have walked away from the current deal. From a couple of hours ago, Alexander Isak was in the building, by the way, at the XA Training Centre. So that announcement will be imminent, which I really can't wait to see. Amazing times. It all happened very quick with regard to Harvey Elliott, by the way. It was only 4 hours ago where Paul Joyce said that Aston Villa were monitoring him. And all of a sudden, they've signed him. A loan with an obligation to buy. Guys, get in the live chat. Do let me know what you think about Harvey Elliott leaving. I've always liked Harvey. I like what Harvey's all about. I think he's a good player. I really do. I really rate him. I really like Harvey Elliott. So yeah, I'm kind of sad to see Harvey go. Big fan of his. But do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, what you think about Harvey Elliott, of course, leaving. Let me see if there's any more transfer news. Apart from that, guys, right, that's all we've really got I mean, I say that's all we've really got. It's a lot. It's a lot, right? Alexander Isak and Mark Gahey coming in, Harvey Elliott going out. But watch Joe Gomez. There might be a bit of movement on the Joe Gomez side of things in terms of going out of the door. Another guy that I rate a lot as well. I like Joe. I think Joe's a fantastic player. So we'll have to see if Gomez goes out as well. People are asking if there's a buyback clause in the Harvey Elliott deal. To be honest, I don't know. From what I'm seeing initially being posted by Paul Joyce, Fabrizio, all of these things, there's no buyback. It just looks like it's an obligation to buy. But the way that the deal is doing it with Gahey is that Gahey's going to be costing £35 million. Harvey Elliott is going to be sold for £35 million after his initial loan. So, it's literally a straight swap, really. Good business. This is why Liverpool are so good at what they do with business. It's fantastic to see. Now, you could be operated like that shit tip down the road, like Manchester United. And, they just spend. They can't get any money for their crap that they have in their team. So, I do think Liverpool are the best ran club, genuinely, right now. And hopefully it correlates to not just the Premier League this season. Obviously, I'll be happy with just the Premier League as well. But hopefully the Champions League. I want to see Liverpool really go for a few more. Yes, I'm being greedy this year. Premier League was amazing last season. Best feeling, right? But, Champions League was a little bit underwhelming, although we did lose to the initial winners of the eventual winners of the Champions League. I do want to see us try and go a bit further. I think we will. I think we'll go further than the Champions League. And then, domestic cups as well. Of course, you want to try and win as many of them as you can. But I would really love to do the League and Champions League double. That would really make it for me personally. Maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but of course, you gotta try and better what you did the season before. But of course, the most important thing is to try and retain that title. Liverpool haven't retained a title in decades, since the 80s. So it would be good to see us obviously retain the title. But yeah, I'm a little bit greedy and optimistic and would like to see a little bit more as well. Champions League, it would be amazing. But troops, of course, that is all I've really got for you to conclude. Isak in, Gay in, Harvey Elliott out, and Joe Gomez maybe going out. Let's see what happens. But guys, do let me know your thoughts on the transfer business so far. Do let me know your thoughts on deadline day. And I'll see you all in the next video if something else breaks. You know what deadline day can be like. It can be all over the place. But let's see what happens a little bit later on. But thank you for tuning in.